Greetings. Let me turn on the light. Excuse me. There we are. Well, we now are back to our real-time prospective client or student here. After having given to him for his review a similar written interaction with a previous prospective student. At this point, let's give our current prospective student a fictitious name, David, and refer to our own text as act now or something like that. So, proceeding. David writes, I can tell already as far as information goes, it's exactly what I want to learn. I'm very eager to implement the practices. While I have researched a lot of different things, I've seldom put them into practice. However you decide to go about it, I am eager to begin. And the 3 questions posed in the beginning, I will give some serious thought. So when the time comes, I can answer them wholeheartedly. And again, those 3 questions were, what do you expect will come from this kind of training? What do you feel certain will come from it? And what do you want to come from it? Well, Act Now writes back, okay, David, you're an unusual guy. Given my recent experience with some people, I'd say so. And I appreciate and understand your eagerness. I've always been torn between 2 related ideas. One is that the material that I have posted here in YouTube should be kept very secret. Just like it has been for various reasons for a very long time, this sort of material. And the other is that I should put it forth, it should be put forth to the public, and I had figured that it was time to put it forth. And now, given recent experience with others, I'm not so sure again. But for now, let me know what all you have researched along relevant lines. And please tell me why you have not put such things into practice. I know plenty of reasons for not doing so. But I want to see if you can articulate why. It can be more than one reason. And one more thing right now, David. Please bear in mind, strongly bear in mind, 3 things. Number 1, the general rule here, which is follow instruction to the letter. And this is so important. And everybody says, well, yeah, of course. But then they drift off in some other direction. And frankly, while I am over here talking about self-mastery, I'm also getting plenty fed up with people saying, yeah, sure, and then doing something different. My own self-mastery doesn't seem to apply anymore over this. So I don't stay calm about this anymore when somebody says, yeah, sure, of course, and then find some wild reason to think I must be joking around. Like they're doing me a favor by emailing me back and saying, yeah, sure, of course, I'll follow instruction to the letter. Like they're doing some kind of favor to me by saying that. For one thing, following instruction to the letter is a matter of learning some mental discipline in itself. If one cannot follow mental discipline instruction to the letter, then how is mental discipline going to be achieved from the instruction? If any instruction should be pursued with a strong sense of mental discipline, it should be mental discipline instruction. Makes sense to me. Now, number 2, the general instruction. Number 1 was the general rule. Follow all instruction to the letter. Number 2 here is the general instruction. Use all instruction as an attention training object or tool. Whether that instruction is cognitive, that is study material, or is practical material or action material. I'll say more about that. Just plant it in your mind as stated for now. The general instruction is use all instruction as an attention training object or tool. And remember again the general rule, follow instruction to the letter. This is the first instruction, the one that applies all the way through. Use all instruction as an attention training object or tool. Follow that instruction to the letter. Okay. Moving on. And number 3, the third thing here. The general fact. We had the general rule, the general instruction, and now the general fact. Everything is conscious substance in motion. It is alive. So, reviewing once more, we have the general rule, general instruction, and the general fact. Notice that the general rule applies to the general instruction, as we pointed out, and that the general instruction applies to the general rule, as well as to the general fact. And if you think about it as instructed, that is, with focused attention, referring here to the general instruction to do so, you will figure out that the general fact, in turn, applies to the general rule and to the general instruction. If this is getting a little confusing, review it. And all of this being the case such that the general fact means that precise attention to instruction will bring the life in the instruction into your way of being. Okay? Like I said, this is no mamby-pamby. It really all depends on whether you apply the general rule, the general instruction, and the general fact at every turn. Everything else here will flow from those 3 things. And without them firmly in place, we are wasting our time. And it might cause me to go eat my neighbor's brain or something. General rule, general instruction, and general fact. Okay for now. Moving forward. David writes, okay, I have not much put into practice these things, which I have researched, due mostly to fear. Fear of failure, fear of success, but also due to the cultivation of poor habits, mingled with lack of desire to do or to obtain. I've made plans for years on what I would do in the future, on what I would have, plans. I think I was content with making the plans, instead of then actually carrying them out. Also, I believed that there was something wrong with me, for a time, because I didn't see things or want things the same way others did. For a long time, I felt like the oddball out. Now, within these weaknesses, I do believe I've built up some strengths, observation, and a general empathy for others and their situations, and so on. But now I want to do something different. I want more control over myself and more control over my actions. Act Now writes back, I understand this fear thing. It's a vicious ordeal. Fear is the most crippling state of mind known to the race. Even fear of fear arises. Fear seems to well up from deep within us. And that's correct to an extent. It is part of our race emotional heritage. It goes way back to instinctual mental functions before intellect came along. It's primal, and it's habitual. So it seems very deep and very encroaching. But its absence in our lives lies even deeper, if that's a good way to say it at all. Let's say its opposite lies even deeper within us. And what would that be? Courage? Calm confidence? How about calling its opposite a mood of calm confidence? Let's call it that for lack of a better name. Or, well, due to it being a really good name. Anyway, this mood of calm confidence runs deeper than fear. Try something right now. First, instantiate some fear. Go ahead. Invoke a little bit of fear. Go ahead. So you can feel it a bit. Feel it, David. Where is it in your body? Where does it feel like it's coming from inside you? Okay. That done, take 3 breaths down into your lower abdomen. 1, 2, 3. Now invoke a slight feeling of calmness. Do that. Invoke a slight feeling of calmness. I don't care how you get to it. Just end up with a feeling of greater calm than you had right after those 3 breaths. How much greater doesn't matter. Now with that in place, invoke a slight feeling of confidence. Go on, you can do it. It's pretty easy. Okay, now, feel the feeling of the calm with the confidence added to it. Where do you feel the calm? All through your body maybe? Or just in your head? Where? And where do you feel the confidence? In your gut, your chest, your forehead? Now, where does it feel like the calm confidence came from inside you? Rather, just answer this. Which feels like it came from a deeper place? The fear or the calm confidence? The answer to that is what we're looking for here. Don't worry if this little exercise here didn't work for you. If it did, you felt the mood come from a deeper place than the fear, most likely. Otherwise, you probably couldn't tell the difference regarding which came from a deeper place. It probably felt the same otherwise. I am willing to bet, however, that the fear did not feel like it came from some deeper place than did the calm confidence. My point still stands no matter what you experienced with this, though, regardless of that. For calmness and confidence that root in the true self differs widely from fear, because that only roots in the false ego. I am not saying that all that passes as calm confidence roots in the true self, though. I am saying that calmness and confidence, in and of themselves, trace back to grounding in a part of our being that transcends false ego. And that's what I want you to understand here, even just a little. All of this is just to say that fear can be opposed. It can be polarized. It can be balanced and eventually supplanted by higher vibrating frequencies than itself. And part of the trick is to come to identify experientially with the true self. Another part of it is to get control over the habit of fear by way of this polarizing to which I just referred. And the one method augments the other. In fact, this augmenting works in both directions. But all I want you to do right now is to know that I got your email about this, and that I understand what you're talking about, and that we do have a remedy at hand. Now, one last thing here. Recall the general rule, the general instruction, and the general fact. Follow instruction. Treat this all as attention training. And it is all alive. Every word, every feeling, every thought everything. It is all conscious. It is all substance. It is all moving. It is all alive. Go back and make sure that you mentally attend to the meanings of every word in this email, and that you have done what it says to do with focus. You are interacting with something that is alive, and every part of your interacting with it, however subtle, is also alive. And to keep working on answering those first 3 questions, this little experience right here might help you to answer them. David's next interaction indicates, I tried the exercise last night and then again today. The fear I feel strongly in my chest. And he continues and asks for our thoughts on that. We will pick up with this in the next video.